media outlets.
Sorry, guys.
She's pregnant. Oh, my mic was muted. Oh.
Can you hear us?
No. Test.
Can you hear us?
Wait, turn it.
All the way down.
It's not. It's her. It's that's her phone. Yeah, you guys gotta turn your phones down.
Oh my God.
Yeah, turn your phones on. Test. Somebody
Tyra, turn your volume down.
How do you do that?
on the side.
All the way.
That's not
Test.
I don't know. Will. She goes, Will. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, Kristen can hear us now. We just can hear a lot of echoing on our end.
Oh,
so we're
wait.
trying to fix
Here we
that.
go.
I think we might be happening.
You're still.
William, is yours?
Or is that right? Is that Will?
That's this one.
Oh, turn that one down.
Look at us. We're coming. Look at
Will's
Test,
face.
test.
Oh, where's Will's face?
Test.
Smile for the camera, honey.
Test.
Is
Test.
All right,
It's still something right here.
it Will's phone?
What's wrong?
One of the,
laptop?
William, is it your phone?
yeah,
You can
my
hear
laptop is muted. It's one of those.
It's your phone.
It's yours.
Really?
Or is it this one?
Why? You just take
My volume's all the way down. Oh, wait.
Did it say what the line's coming from on there?
No, it don't tell us.
This is so much
Test,
fun.
test.
It's nice to just sit here and
Yeah.
just have to-
Oh, they say we're good now, but there's
They hear
it's
us?
this phone right here. I can hear
For the
it.
echo?
I can hear it.
Hold on, I'm about to-
It's too close.
Talk again?
Test, test.
Yeah, it's that one. But it
It's-
won't
it's
turn
not
my
bad,
volume
though.
all the way down though for some
Just
reason.
hit. You can't mute it.
How? Mic is muted.
Oh wait, it's her phone.
It's her
you do
phone.
too?
You can try it, Will.
Oh yeah, mute your home phone. Like
Yeah,
turn the
maybe you gotta
sound
mute
on.
her phone.
How do you do that?
On the
It's-
side,
You
just
do
hit
it
that
on the
switch.
laptop.
There goes into
no,
my-
she's
Hmm.
muted.
See how it goes up?
What's the problem right now though?
It's her phone won't turn on.
So we
No,
can.
but they can
Oh,
hear
but I
us
don't,
now.
but I don't hear it.
No, we're
myself.
good. We just yeah.
Turn
You
the
guys won't be able to
microphone
hear it. It's just it'll be
It'll
annoying
be a
on this
little bit.
side, but
Oh,
it's not that bad.
we can't hear it.
Okay. All right, let's keep it
All
moving.
right.
As long as it don't bother you, you probably can't even hear it because you got. I'm gonna put my headphones on, then I won't be able to hear. Because otherwise, I'm gonna be in the wait.
Very good.
All right, bet.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not
It's
gonna.
not plugged in. You just plug
Well,
it
at
in.
least you won't hear it though. will
It's
you?
not even
I can plug it back
connected.
in.
Huh?
You can plug it back
Probably
in.
plug it back in.
So they didn't even hear your Sunday poll, did they?
So
Nope.
they didn't hear anything.
They didn't hear none of that. We had a whole bunch of
We
people
had
on
a
here too.
whole conversation about.
That's why they all
How many
got off.
people are you?
Nobody
They're
knows.
like,
There's a lot of comments in here now.
Nobody knows.
So just,
Sorry,
just
guys.
save the Sunday poll. We don't have to go.
You don't
into
think?
detail.
Okay.
All right.
So really quick, I told. I don't like it. Okay, so I told them that I believe, or a lot of us grew up with our mom and dad telling us if we go outside without a coat on, you're going to catch a cold. And so to that statement, the group says that you can't catch a cold from going outside in the cold.
I said there's not even no such thing as colds. It's really not. I haven't had a cold in 3 years.
It all started really when I told them that I was drinking tea today
Yeah,
because I've
nobody
been
heard
sick.
this, so nobody
So-
knows that you have a cough from your niece, and you're drinking tea. And I don't want to give away what I said though because nobody knows. But colds, you cannot go outside.
I say Brooke just leave.
Or
I
your
said you should just
phone.
leave the
I will
broadcast.
leave. I am sick right
No,
now.
no,
No, don't leave.
Leave the broadcast.
Leave the broadcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Bye,
leave the
guys.
broadcast.
Bye.
Bye. Is it-
Here,
okay.
I'll kick you out.
I
Oh,
love it. I love it.
that was. I mean, you could be like a little nicer about it.
All right, here we go.
But in all honesty, our parents told us growing up that if like our
Actually-
chest was exposed or if you go outside with a wet head, you're gonna
That's not
get
my good
sick.
side, bro.
See, I have a good side too, girl. I get it. Trust me, I get it.
Oh my goodness.
But they basically like lied. They lied to us. Like,
They
let's be real
installed
about
it in
They
our
installed it in our
brains.
brains that you're gonna get sick, and that's
Yeah,
not true.
yeah. Everything
have
is in
to-
your head. Nothing's
You
real.
have to encounter a virus, a viral infection, in order to catch a cold. And I said this before, you can drain from sinuses, which you can, that can cause an infection, but you cannot go outside and catch a cold unless you encounter a virus.
We only catch a cold because we've been told that it's a such thing as a cold. It's really
I mean-
just our bodies naturally healing itself. So
But see,
But
there's
mucus
still,
and
there's still a thing though.
like having a sore
all of that is
throat.
our body naturally healing itself. Our body is always like.
So you're
fighting
saying
for
the way that the
process.
terminology that we use to describe what's happening in our body is negative when actually it's just a positive.
So the word
It's actually
cold is
just our
negative.
body healing itself. But they've installed into our brain that it's a cold. As soon as you hear a cold, your brain automatically goes into
Turn
what
sideways.
a cold actually is, and then you end up feeling like
And you just
what you've
had
been
to
told
be
that a
camera
cold
today.
is.
You had an opportunity to sit with us.
Well,
Okay,
so that's what we
so-
talked about. I was about to say.
Sunday.
Yeah, so I'm interested. I really want to hear what people say about this because I'm sure there'll be a lot of debates on it. So when you do your Sunday poll, please tag all of us
I will.
because I want to be included in this.
But it probably
I'll
won't be this
challenge
Sunday because I
anyone.
have some really like some fire. Like that's like
Well, I'll be on a
mid fire.
cruise with the Dominicans, so
I was
probably
about to
won't
say so.
even care.
Next, maybe like
No
next
love.
week or the week after.
All right. We talked about hot topics, which I don't think anyone heard about. We talked about the Nickelodeon scandal. you guys can catch up on all that.
Watch the podcast.
Watch the podcast and catch up on all that. And is there any other hot topics that we need?
There sure is.
I will say our hot topic is that we partnered with Real Producers Magazine. It was finally
Yes,
launched this
we
week.
did. It finally came out. The secret is out. We have partnered with Real Producers. Go ahead and take the mic.
Yeah, so we are now officially in a partnership. It will technically launch April 1st. So if you're watching this, you are getting the exclusive. And the goal is to expose RPR to as many real estate agents as possible, because this is the safest space to share your story.
Absolutely.
So if you have a story that you don't get an opportunity to talk about, you need to come have a seat in this chair that I'm sitting in right now so that you can tell the world.
And we will help you tell your story.
Oh, we
So
will.
if you feel like you have difficulties sharing your story, we will help you get it out. So
Because we ask the hard questions.
Yeah.
We get deep with that. That's why I said you are a guest. You're not like us.
Yeah.
You're our special guest.
I'm
You're a
feeling
guest.
I'm
Are
feeling
you
the
feeling-
void.
I'm sorry.
Brooke would have been alone if I didn't sit in.
You're-
So
you're
somebody
right.
had
Someone
to.
had to sit in that seat.
Yeah. So I just, why not be me? Like, why not?
Yeah, so every second Wednesday, we're going to be interviewing some partners with Real Producer. We're going to be doing some interviews with them, and you guys will get to hear their stories. I love this podcast because I feel like I learned something new about every agent that I would have never guessed. And you guys have some amazing, incredible stories, and just being able to have like one-on-one time with the agents is like really special. So I value the time that we get with you guys, and I can't wait to interview more people.
I'm so excited when Jimmy Nelson and Johnny Awesome asked us like what was the best podcast. And I think that each one of us had different answers, but we've taken away something from different. But I think, I don't know if it was you or Brooke who said like the chance to sit and have a real conversation with somebody and learn something that you didn't know every single time we leave here, it's fulfilled.
Mhm.
So I'm super excited about what this is going to hold and what's coming forward with this. There's going to be lots of good stuff happening.
Yeah, and lots of live podcasts this year too, coming to events, and we're still looking to book more live events. So if you guys have an event and you want to kind of get your audience interacted, just reach out, and we'd love to interview them and do some.
We'll
some
pay
live
us something to
interviews.
say, everybody. Turn the camera down.
Yeah, listen, tune in, reach out to us. This is the best space to share your story.
Rub.
Hey,
Absolutely.
look at he's rubbing his hands together. Did you
So
see that?
I want to call out, somebody's missing. This may be a new segment, if everybody's cool with it, but we're looking for Cam Sutton. So if anybody knows where he
Oh my
is,
gosh, Cam Sutton. They're
We
not
hope-
okay. do
we
you know-
hope that he's
You
okay.
don't know.
I don't know about
No.
this.
Who's that?
Lord
Cam
have
Sutton.
okay. So William and I, being the football fans that we are, you guys know Cam Sutton is our cornerback for the Lions.
Corner.
I said corner. I said cornerback.
Okay.
So, didn't I say cornerback?
I thought you said quarterback.
I thought you said quarterback
Oh,
too.
I'm sorry,
Could've-
cornerback. I said cornerback for the Lions. And on March 7th, he was involved in a DV with the woman that he was dating. And he is now being charged with, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on YouTube. It's allegedly,
Allegedly.
aggravated assault by strangulation. And Cam Sutton has been missing for 2 weeks and nobody can find
That
him.
name sounds familiar.
He plays for the Lions. Like
No,
he's
Cam Sutton. Who's that?
Cam Sutton.
Oh, Cam Sutton.
Cam
That's
Sutton.
his name.
That's his name. Cameron
Oh.
Sutton.
Okay.
And so what happened was, like I said, William and I are huge sport. Like we both have Bleacher Report, like Fox News, and all of a sudden both of our phones start going like this, like, and then Bleacher Report comes through. And basically, what has happened was it happened in Miami, right? Miami, Florida.
Florida.
In Florida, I don't know if it was Miami. Hillsborough.
I'm not
Whatever.
sure. I'm not sure.
Okay. Anyways, it happened in Florida, and they have been looking for him for 2 weeks.
How old is he?
29 years old.
They have a warrant out for his
A warrant
arrest.
out
Football
for him?
player?
Yes.
But,
He
but,
has gone missing.
but for questioning. So
For
he hasn't been charged.
But they
But
said there's enough evidence
there's enough-
to,
Yes.
he has a warrant out for his arrest. And it's like major headlines right now. Like Detroit was sitting on such a high. We're coming into the draft weekend. coming up,
Sign-
April
Signed some new players out of free agency.
free agency.
So this is a Lions
Current
player.
player.
He's a current Lions player. He had a 3-year contract with us. He's fulfilled 1 year, a 3-year, $33 million contract. He's fulfilled only one, and like his
Missing.
phone is turned off. No one can find him. He's been missing. So they've been looking for him since March 7th.
Hopefully he's alive.
I just did
Well,
not say
It
that.
just sounds
Something doesn't
something
make
fishy,
sense.
Someone
Something
missing for
doesn't.
2 weeks is not good.
no, absolutely.
Especially with all the social media, like with
Correct.
all the ways they can track you now.
Correct,
and
exactly.
And
Everyone usually has.
And
that
William and I
phone
were talking
somewhere.
about it, like, we're in the signing period right now. So free agents are being signed. Like I said, the draft is in April, 25th, 26th, and 27th of April. So it is in Detroit. Like, Detroit has been sitting incredibly pretty with everything that we've been doing. And for this to happen, number one is crazy, but number two, Will brought up a good point. When you're signing, like, you guys, when something happens, you two are being the sports people that you are, you don't shoot a text to each other like, hey, did you see that signing? Or hey, did you see who so-and-so grabbed?
Mhm.
You mean to tell me that nobody has reached out to this guy in 2 weeks
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
just
something
now
like that.
figure out that he's missing?
And we'll say this and we'll move on, but Detroit, Detroit
I'm
Lions.
sorry, I'm like,
No, it's okay.
Like, this has consumed our day. We've been
The,
listening to the podcast all day about
Detroit
this.
Lions just issued a statement today and said they just found out.
They just
today.
found out about it.
That they
this
didn't know
morning.
they didn't know about it until today.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
When did she like file the
March
charges?
7th.
or
March
what?
7th. 2
On
weeks
March
ago.
7th at like 4:00 in the
And that's how
morning or
long he's
something.
been missing.
He's been missing for 2 straight weeks.
Yeah.
And the Lions are saying, and we are like Will's being Lions right now, like we are diehard Lions fans. And the fact that the Lions are even saying they just found out about this morning is not true. Like, it can't be true. But the fact that this man is missing, his phone is off, nobody knows where he's at.
We must not have a lot of Lions fans because people are
No one's saying anything about this. Like, this is
They're-
like.
Oh wait, they
They're-
want to hear about real estate.
they're
Sorry.
they're leaving.
Sorry.
They're leaving.
Okay,
the
we're done.
conversation.
I'm sorry. Like, I was intense about this. Brooke, segue.
So-
Go segue because
In
I
other
did
news,
Brooks' job. My
I
bad.
could talk about this forever.
in other news, we all know that the NAR lawsuit has been blowing up.
Yes.
Not only on real estate agents' social medias, please get that away from me, but also in the news. Was
Yes.
it on what was
CNN.
it? CNN.
Yes.
Funny, I went to my parents' house the other day, and it was the first thing they brought up to me, like, what's going on with real estate and the lawsuit. And so the general public is hearing it, and it's spreading like wildfire. And so let's
Yeah.
talk about it.
And I don't like what the general public is putting out. And my thing is anytime that the general public or it hits the news and it's like a big story, is some type of agenda
Yeah.
or something behind it.
Yeah.
So that was my problem with it. Like, when I first heard the news, it was never like a panic for me or, oh my God, my business is going to be affected. It was more of like a passion that I have for like these scandals or these agendas that's put out or whatever. So
Well, let's be real. Like, we have to now just start to buckle down as agents, and it's going, like, we talked about
Buyer's
this
agents.
last night. Like, buyers agents, like, you're gonna have to start doing stuff that you might not have done in the past. There's no doubt about that. But we talked about it last night. What does this mean for seasoned agents? You've been in the game for a while. You've been in it for a couple years, and I'm a new agent. So what does this mean for all of us? How does this look? And I know everyone's talking about like the new agents coming in, it's going to be a big deal. But I also feel like if I learn now, or if the new agents coming in learn now how to do it in a different way and step up the game when things have changed. 2008, the market crashed. Then we had short sales. COVID.
Yeah.
We've had to pivot as agents so many times. How is this any different?
It's all a part of being in the business.
Yeah.
Like, I learned a long time ago, you have to change with the market. And so even if you are a new agent, it's just like a realization of the fact that this is something that you have to get used to if you're going to be in the real estate business. Real estate is always changing. The market is always changing. You just have to change with it. Okay, now you have to do this. Okay, that's just what you have to do. Now you have to structure your business around what the new laws are.
I have a
How do
question
we-
for you
Go
guys.
ahead.
Do you think that sellers now are waiting until July to list their house because they think that they're going to make more money in July than they would right now?
I didn't think about that, but they probably are. I mean, it doesn't make sense. But
They're
yeah.
pushing everything back. Think about it. People are waiting for the interest rates to go down. Now they're waiting
Yeah.
for this to pass. What
But
are we
you
waiting
Those just
for?
aren't the serious buyers that you want to work
Exactly,
with.
and that's what I was gonna talk about as well.
sellers, sorry.
In the bigger picture of things, it takes an agent to inform, a listing agent to inform somebody of basically what's happening.
Yeah.
We can listen to mainstream media and it's only, and like the headlines suck. Like, let's be real, the headlines are absolutely awful. So in my opinion, do I think that it's going to change? No, because okay, how can I word this? Because I was reading things that like people were thinking that the housing market was going to go down because of this.
Mhm.
And then other people are like, no, sellers are still going to make money.
It could.
You think
I mean,
that you
it
think
could
the market
have an
could go down
effect.
from this?
It could have an effect on the seller side because it's like sellers are getting this thing now where, okay, I don't want to pay this because I don't have to pay for the buyer. The buyer's going to pay the buyer's agent now. So now I don't have to pay 6% or 7%, whatever your commission was. I can now only pay 3%. Okay, now you got 3%, and now you got a seller that don't want to pay a buyer's agent. So now it's no commission to the
Yeah.
buyer's
I
agent.
can see what you're saying.
And an agent, you can't list it. Well, starting in July, you
Yeah.
can't list it on the MLS anymore.
But didn't
But
you
you
say,
can reach out and call.
Well,
the
it's not
agent.
passed fully yet. It
right?
still has to be. It still has to be approved by
It's-
federal.
It's a proposed settlement that they've agreed upon, but it
Mhm.
hasn't been signed.
But didn't
by
you
the
say
judge,
you
so
were
it's not
already starting to
technically
see it?
finalized.
Like you were
Yeah, I
already
saw
starting-
1%
We talked about it
already.
as a 1% already, that things were changing at a 1% already.
And we know how that works. Like even when you would see a listing and it only has 2%, you kind of shy away from that listing.
Mhm.
Or if it's a lower commission, just be honest, like you'll kind of shy away from that listing.
Mhm.
So just imagine having 0%.
Sellers, if you do not want to pay a buyer's agent any money, they're not going to do their job for free. So they're going to take their client to a listing or a seller or listing agent that's going to pay them a commission, right? So then when your house is sitting on the market for a year because you refuse to pay the buyer or the buyer's agent, that's why it's sitting there, because the buyer's agent's not going to do their job for free.
Yeah.
Well,
And
what
listen-
happens when the buyer's agent starts to get bypassed? Like
The buyers are
and they
gonna
go
try and do it
straight to the
themselves?
listing
Yeah, do
agent.
we-
There's going to be lawsuits because the buyers are going to try and sue the sellers because they're going to realize they got screwed over. Like these buyers don't know what's all involved in the process of buying a house.
Correct.
Yeah,
They're
it's
not
a
going
lot.
to know that they need to get a city inspection. They don't know that they need to do whatever
So
it
you think the
is.
ramifications might be bigger if buyers try to go without the agent?
Yeah, they're going to
Like-
get screwed over eventually. I mean, how many deals have we gone into that are like a shit show?
She says most of them.
Well, no, some of
Not
I have
most
a
of
deal
them.
that went really smooth, and we're supposed to close Friday, and I had no problem. So there's a lot of them with no problems, but it's a lot of them with
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah.
And buyers agents play like a major part in that. Honestly, like with listing agents, the reason why people are listing agents because it's easy. You put it on the market and you have a buyer's agent find a buyer for you,
Yeah.
and they bring a buyer to you, and you get the
I
deal.
I have no skin in this game,
Okay.
but I will say
Any comments?
I want to say I will say I've heard the rhetoric, and one of the things that I heard today was this is going to eliminate the people who aren't really built for real estate,
Absolutely.
basically, because they've been able to kind of ride the wave of it being easy And now you have to be more skilled, and
You have to show your value.
But you want to
Gotta
know
show
what's
your
funny
value.
though, and the funny part about it though is people ride the wave on what's easy. Being a buyer's agent really isn't easy. The seller or listing agent is kind of the easier role when you come into. I mean, am I wrong?
It's
on that?
definitely the
Depends.
easier role, but sometimes
I mean,
it's
I've
dealing
had-
with the seller that
yeah, I was saying
makes
I've
it
had
not
situations
easy,
that it
but-
wasn't, but in the big picture, like a buyer's agent has to do a lot of work and it takes a lot of hours, and we're out in the field. Where when you just list a house, like you said, you wait for the buyer's offer to come in, and then you go from there. So my question to you guys is like we have
Our question to
go ahead.
everybody out there, because you guys can join this conversation. We
let's
can
talk.
bring you in if you have thoughts or comments and want to be on the screen. There is a link. All you have to do is click the link. I will bring you in, and you can share your thoughts. So go ahead, Nicole. Sorry.
Oh no, I was waiting
And
for the camera
also-
'cause we have all angles everywhere of
watch
us.
Also,
Oh, there he is.
also, there's all of a sudden after we stopped talking about football, like everybody showed back up.
Listen.
I don't know why.
Listen.
They
Y'all-
said take that to ESPN or
Y'all
sports
better get it together. We are in the Motor City. I can talk about.
How you not a
football.
Lions fan? Like
I
what y'all
can talk
doing?
about football for hours. Don't get me started.
All
Like,
right, my bad. I
do
just
not
have to
get me started on
make
football.
mention of that real quick.
I really think we listened to every podcast today about this camp subject.
But about
But-
back to the NAR settlement.
Yeah.
It's like this happened with every market change. You find out who's like the people that could like the real agents, because it was the same thing when the market crashed.
In 08, and then you have
had all these
COVID.
foreclosures. And then what about when the foreclosures went away? A lot of people specialized in short
Short
sales
sales.
and REOs, and then that went away. And then a lot of brokerages actually shut down.
Yeah.
But if you don't know how to change and shift with the market, like you just won't stay in this business.
But and kind of seeing it from a different point of view, not the agent, but the buyer in general. We talked about this a little bit. First-time home buyers are already having a really hard time
Yeah.
purchasing a house. And now if they have to pay their buyer's agent, it's even more money that they have to dish out, which is making it harder for first-time home buyers and just buyers in general to
Mhm.
even buy, which
Yeah, my thoughts on that is that's when it comes down to being a really good negotiator for your buyer. Like if that's your client, you have to go to bat for that client.
Yeah.
So do what you need to do to try to get them some concessions or get them something that's going to help them to actually be able to purchase a house. And once again, that's going to separate the great
I would
agents
say the
from
boys
the
from men,
mediocre
but that's
ones.
like, yeah.
you
So
know?
really quick. this-
Wait
oh, go
before you
ahead.
say that. Kristen
Okay.
is a comment.
Okay.
Kristen says, bottom line is the professional agents are the ones that will win here. The door openers will not make it through this.
yeah, there are gonna be agents that get screwed over. They're gonna be at the closing table. And
But I
they're not
want to
gonna
talk
get
about
paid.
that for a minute. The skilled agents, but you have new agents coming in all the time. So I get it, the skilled agents who have their spheres and everything, but why are we deterring from people who want to start in this?
Because they
business?
don't want new
agents can be
people.
skilled.
They don't want new agents.
I mean,
to come
I
in the
No,
industry.
new agents can be skilled.
But
They have to be taught and trained.
But you have to be, but there has to be some level of teaching and training and mentorship. So my question is, are we detouring to where, granted,
Yes.
like this, okay. Well,
Yeah, well,
I get that, but I don't teachers, let's talk about teachers. Like there's teachers everywhere and teachers don't make a lot of money and they go through some shit to be a teacher. Like, let's be real, especially after COVID and everything like that. But are we going to detour people from being teachers?
Can I okay, again, guys, let me change this.
You on the mic.
Yeah.
You have
Listen,
the camera in your face.
I don't have a license. I play in the real estate world a lot. But I need you guys to think about this. Real estate, out of all the industries that I work in, you guys are the hardest on each other. Like, real estate brokers, agents,
Well, we're
etc.
not. This room is not.
No, I'm talking to the people.
I'm just kidding.
Like, you guys go hard on each other,
Yeah.
and it's almost like I feel like there is the stigma of, I've been doing it for 30 years. I've been doing this for 20 years. And I don't like to see the new agent who's only been doing this for 2 years come in and dominate,
It's
because
ego.
they
It's
figure
ego.
possibly, but out of all industries, there is no other industry that is as cutthroat as the experienced real estate
The
agent.
first deal
Like,
I
it's
ever
crazy.
did, the listing agent literally basically said to me, like, this is your first deal, isn't it? You can tell. And I was like, well, if you've been in the game that long, like, I called my mentor, like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Like, because I'm still learning. But my idea is, if you've been in the game this long and you're that much of an experienced realtor, realtor,
Realtor?
She was shitty. Just be
But no,
was
those are
super
the things to
Like,
hear though. You need to
she
hear
was
stuff like that as a new
yes,
agent,
and
though.
she was, but she was shitty. Like, she was dead set mean to me.
You need that.
But
though.
there was no, but why? But to me, and maybe I'm different. Like, I would take the mentorship and be like, oh, hey, like, this is your first deal. We're gonna do it like this, blah blah blah. Because at one point, everybody was a new agent.
For this
At one
business
point.
though, you need stuff like that. When I first got in this business, the mentor that I had, he literally made me read 48. What is it? The 48
Laws of Power
book.
But
We read that like every time we would meet.
I'm
we read a
not
part of that.
disagreeing with what you're
'Cause
saying,
this
but
is a cutthroat business.
it is a cutthroat business. But that wasn't the way to do it. Like,
But you learn from it. though.
I didn't learn shit except for she's a bitch.
You probably
That's
don't realize
probably
it
all I
right
learned.
now. You don't realize it right now. But if you stick to this, maybe like 5-10 years later or something,
I would
you might
never
go
I
back.
disagree. I will never treat
I
any new
agree.
agent like that, because
I agree with Tyra. It's a make or break business.
I understand that, but I
so-
would never
so
treat
if
All of
human
that
being
type
like
of
makes-
that.
stuff that you hear help you develop into the
Correct.
person that you become.
It makes you
If
to
everybody's
last,
all nice and
or it makes you to
kind,
give up.
I'm not saying be nice and kind, but it, like,
But look how it made you feel though. It didn't give you no type of drive or anything.
no, I was ready to walk away. Was it like?
I mean, the reality is that everybody
It was that.
responds to different types of mentorship,
Yeah.
different types of coaching. It's
That's no
if you're-
mentorship though. That's just the real of what it is in this business.
I was gonna say real quick. I think what Tyra is saying, that when you're in a fight, some people put their hands down and get beat. Some people just turn and walk and run away. Those type of scenarios, if you're made for this business, you put your hands up and you say, "What you got? I'm coming back for more." As a matter of fact, you will never do this to me again.
And to be honest with you, you know what? I will agree with you, because what exactly did I do in that moment? She was playing with me. She knew I was a new agent, and I put my foot in the sand and said, my clients are not going to do this. And guess what? Our offer was accepted and we moved forward. So I did put my foot in the sand, but I just,
You remember
Now,
that
if someone
experience.
says that to you again, what's going to be your reaction?
I would say,
I'm just saying, I'm sure it won't affect you the same way the first time.
you're right. I will totally give you credit, like, on that. You're absolutely right. But I get it being a cutthroat industry, but at the end of the day, like, we're all here to make money.
I had someone say, I can recall someone said something similar to me when I first got in the business. Like, an agent said that. And then she just, not only that, she just kind of like went down the line of all the stuff that I did wrong as a new agent. And I think it may have affected me a similar way.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had like a mentor that told me like the same thing I'm telling you, like, you
Right.
gotta hear stuff like that
I
in
don't
order to
disagree.
make it into this business, because that's what it is. And if you hear it enough, at some point you're gonna hear it and it's not gonna affect you.
I mean, I'm gonna flip it to sports, because that's what we do.
Oh,
Okay,
don't talk about
yeah.
football, 'cause
Yeah.
we'll lose all of us.
I'm not going the football
Don't
route,
go
but
too deep
in
into
comparison to a coach and a team, to me, the most impactful moments are the moments where the coach called me out, made it very clear and apparent what it is that I did wrong, and made me emotionally feel something. And that's what I think, like, and sometimes like they're not pulling on the right strings for you as an individual. But at the end of the day, I feel like the most success comes when they can tap in, whether it's frustration, anger, excitement. Exactly. Like they need to stimulate some type of emotion that's making you going to never forget what you did wrong at that time. Because from now on, if that thing comes up, you're not going to make that mistake no more. You know, like whatever that person calls out, you're never going to do that wrong if it makes you feel that emotional about it. And I think that's really what we're talking about. That's it's like, fair. Let me.
So how does this, in retrospect of what you're saying, how does this NAR settlement now change the game for new agents?
Well, good segue, because first of all, Kristen says, to your point, no, not at all, saying not at all saying no new agents. But to your point, Nicole, they need to be educated and trained. So who they align with will matter. That's all. And then the next question or comment from Taekwon Jackson is, will this new law make it harder for new agents?
And that's I don't think necessarily. It depends on who you are teamed up with, like what Kristen said.
And it's all about the way you look at it.
And really. I think it's another pivot.
If you think it's going to be hard, it's going to be hard.
Exactly. But as you even said, it's going to be another pivot, another 2008, another.
It's going to be a year of trying to figure out what we need to do to get back to normalcy.
Look at COVID, guys. Look when COVID happened.
Well, whatever. Maybe not a year, but like
I think they're going to find some literally people are already talking online about. Writing in agent friend or buyer agent friendly in the MLS, or
you could come up with your own agreement. You do have to not part of the new proposed settlement is you have to have some type of buyer agency agreement with the buyer signed before you can even start showing the house.
Which is great.
So this is great for me because I'm I like to put together my own contract or whatever or word stuff in my own type of way. All that riding around that buyers do showing houses and this and that. Okay, look, you're gonna this isn't free.
There's gonna be some accountability,
yeah. I mean, and we have the actual facts, right? We have directly from NAR. And so here it says the settlement provides that MLS participants working with buyers must enter into written representation agreements with those buyers.
Yeah, that's a Tyra said. Before you go show houses, you have to have buyers.
And also, it says in here too, there will continue to be in many ways in which a buyer broker can be compensated, including through offers of compensation communicated off the MLS. Yeah. And I think that's one thing people are not talking about. Is mainstream media has put it out there, as we talked about. They've had it. I don't want to say misinformation. That's not what I'm saying.
It's misleading.
Misleading information about how things are going to happen. But it literally says here, offers of compensation communicated off MLS, as we have long believed that it is in the best interest of the sellers, buyers, and their brokers to make offers of compensation, but using the MLS to communicate those offers of compensation would no longer be an option. So we can put it in a PA. We can talk to an agent before that and say, is there a seller's concession for a...
It might get a little catty between the buyer's agent and the listing agent. And if you don't have a good listing agent, and they're brand new, and there's a buyer's agent that's very smart and witty, and they put something in the buyer's or the purchase agreement the listing agent doesn't catch because they're brand new, you could actually screw over your seller.
That is very true.
Yeah, you definitely have to start reading those purchase agreements, people.
Yep. Yeah. And it even says here the types of compensation available for buyers, brokers, blah, blah, blah. Fixed fee commission paid directly by consumers, concession from the seller, portion of the listing broker's compensation, which is what we've already done. Mm-hmm. That's the 6% split. But do you think there's going to be a lot of agents, listing agents out there that are actually still going to push for the 6% and then split it with the buyer's agent?
I think so. I think so. But then you're also going to have them agents listing agents that, because I saw it out there with the comments, like I saw a comment where someone was like, I met with a listing agent and they don't want to pay a buyer's agent commission, and I'm fine with that. So
Okay, let me
we
ask you
should
this
fight.
now.
We should fight for that. We should tell them what the value in paying a buyer's agent is. So we
Yeah.
shouldn't just agree to that as listing agents.
Mhm.
But then my
feel.
next question is, would you detour from having your clients look at a house if there's no buyer's compensation?
Well, you're gonna write it in the addendum.
But what if they don't agree? Like, my question is like,
Yeah, that's what I was
because you're gonna
saying.
have conversations
And
before
then
we
your buyer's
even.
gonna still want the house.
Then that's my thing. So what happened? Like, you're gonna have conversations with the listing agent before the PA's even
Mhm.
submitted, right? Like, we're gonna talk about this.
That's what
The
we-
buyer's
before,
gonna
that
have to
would be
pay the
smart.
the buyer's gonna have
So
to
then
pay
what
the
happens
commission.
then?
If you don't want to pay the commission, the buyer's agent's not gonna write the contract for you. Are you gonna do a job for free?
But
Yeah.
technically, part of your, how do you say it, fiduciary? I can never say it right. Duties. That wouldn't be ethical to do that.
So this is an interesting concept. So now let's hypothetically say we go into, and Tyra's my client, and I come to you and I say, hey, my client would like to put an offer in. Is there any seller's concessions or buyer's agent commission? You tell me no.
Mhm.
I go back to my client and say there's no.
That's one
Where-
thing. I
where-
wouldn't go
where
back
is
to my
this-
client and
Okay,
tell
so-
my client that.
Okay, so where does this scenario happen? Because I think that's the thing is like, we listen to all these podcasts that we've listened
can't
to in the
tell your
last couple
client
days, and
that.
we can't say that. But where do you go from there?
And I would
think
say
that's where it is.
That may be a difference from maybe like a seasoned agent and a newer agent, or someone that's kind of just getting in the business. That's probably something I would never tell my client. I would go to like my negotiating brain
Yeah.
and figure out how I can still make this work somehow.
Okay.
And I would say, let's include this in, we'll still include it in the purchase agreement, but I
Yeah.
would never tell the buyer that
The buyer
they're
that
not
that's
offering
not.
that.
That's not.
We got a
If-
comment. Oh, go ahead.
If that house stays on the market, you can always say like listing agent to take 2% and give 1% of their commission to the buyer's agent.
But that's what I'm
Or
saying.
like the
But are we
3%
going
that
to
they're
get into a
getting,
situation
split it.
that listing agents are actually going
It
to do
depends on the
that.
listing agent. You have those stubborn listing agents.
Yeah.
That's-
All right.
Okay, what's the
comment?
So I was trying to get a couple of people to join the conversation, so I didn't
No
hear
one
everything that
saying
you
that with
guys. So this might be not actually accurate for what you're talking about now. But the comment is just to comment. Lauren says, I see homeowners that are wanting to buy being caught in the middle of some prolonged transactions, at least in the beginning, if parties cannot come to an agreement as quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of that. It's going to be a lot of buyers just not really even knowing what's going on, and the listing agent and the buyer agent kind of going back and forth when it's not about you. That's the part that I don't like.
That's it.
It's not about the listing agent and the buyer's agent. It's about the buyer and the seller.
That's what I'm saying. Wait, now we're taking away from the actual buyer and seller. Now
Yeah.
it's about the listing agent
It's
and the
causing
buyer's
division,
agent.
I feel. It's going to cause division.
It's about to be some fights.
Our job is for the buyer
And
to
it's
help our
already
buyers.
hard. Like, it's already hard trying to work with another agent on a
Mhm.
deal and try to make it happen. And now it's just causing.
More.
So I guess
Yeah.
my question is, being that we are all different stages of our real estate world. Rob, you've been around for a while. Will, you're working on your license. So we're all like somewhat tapped into real estate. How do we move forward as agents? What is like, do we all pack together and say, listen, like, we're gonna keep doing this as agents, we're gonna keep moving forward to make, I don't want to say the world go around, but you know what I mean? Like, what do we do as agents to change what's happening?
My answer to that is what you do as an agent. Continue to figure out ways that you're going to provide value to your client. It's not about all of this stuff that's going on. It's about what you're going to do as an agent to provide value to your client. That's it. It's really nothing else at the end of the day, because if your client actually sees value in you, they're going to fight tooth and nail for you, just like the same way that you'll
Right.
do for them. And
Yeah.
those clients that don't, that means that they don't see value
Yeah.
in you, and they're going to just go straight to the listing agent, or they're going to find another agent, or they're going to.
I don't want to say this
Yeah.
is like a conspiracy theory because we're not going to go there. But I feel like this is just another way to divide people. Like, I feel like this is just another fork in the road that people are coming up with to
Yeah.
literally divide everybody at some way or
Well,
another.
I mean, it's so I feel like anybody that's just getting into the business, the only thing you're going to see is the challenge in front of you, right? Because it's already hard. Like, it's already an uphill battle. So now we've taken something that's already hard and we're throwing another obstacle in the path to make us have to jump over or figure out. And I feel like if you're in real estate because you love it, because you enjoy helping people find new homes, because you're passionate about being successful, then you're going to navigate it like you have no choice. Yeah, you're gonna figure out what's necessary.
Yeah.
If you're in it where it's like, this seems like an easy path for me to generate some revenue for myself and to make some money, then you're probably
That wouldn't have worked. Even
Yeah,
before
well,
that.
before this,
that's
like,
but I mean, if we're being honest, there's a lot of people who came into real estate during COVID or right after COVID and seen a massive opportunity, and some of those people probably aren't here no more, and some of those people probably are lingering, hoping that they can figure it out, and they've made some headway, but then now you have this thing come in. It's like, I'm back. They just knocked me back a couple steps. So I feel like where you are in terms of how you have been approaching real estate in general, and it's not just real estate. I think this is entrepreneurship. This is just like, if you're going to lean into something, either you're going to go 100% and all in. And we talked about this last night a little bit, right? Like, if you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, then it's going to be tough. But you just have to decide, like, do I really want to do this? And if I do, none of this stuff matters.
Yeah.
Like, if you're all in, it don't matter if it's this, it don't matter if it's COVID, it don't matter what it is, you're going to figure it out.
And it don't matter your competition.
Exactly.
Yes, 100%,
And
100%.
that's the thing, like, the competition doesn't matter, but it also goes down to, I fully believe that when you're all in and making those sacrifices and hitting those forks in the road, as we'll call them, it really depends on who you have in your circle.
True,
Definitely.
but look, I gotta add this last little part.
Oh,
This
you're
is what-
backing up and everything.
This is what,
serious.
no, this is serious, because
See
this is
this.
what everybody needs to understand. Listen,
You can't.
I want to
This
stand
mic
up.
won't go. We're not at a
You
meeting.
can
can't stand
literally, like, you guys have to hear what I'm saying. Anything that you want to do, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
Like, you can make anything happen. It's just, how willing are you to actually do what's necessary? That's all it boils down to, because you just might not have it in you to do what's necessary for that thing. And if that's the case, then it's not going to happen. But if you are willing to take the hits and the lumps that's required for anything that you decide to do, you can make it happen.
Just keep going.
I have a second thought, because somebody had asked about a new agent, if it's going to make it harder for them when they become a new agent.
Mhm.
I think back to COVID times. Think about, how everything changed in the workplace during COVID. The people that were already working, like, in those positions, like, now we got new regulations, we got to learn all this stuff. But the new person that came in and those regulations were already put in place, they kind of had an advantage because they don't know any other way.
Yeah.
And so
true.
those new agents coming in, you guys don't know any other way. But us agents that have been in it, we're like, man, this sucks.
Yeah.
So you guys do kind of have an advantage coming into it, not knowing any other way.
That's true. And at the end of the day, I feel like if you just focus, I feel like the more you focus on this part, like the less you're gonna, like the worse you're gonna do. I feel like if you just what I said earlier, focus on ways to provide value in yourself, then you'll be okay. But if you sit here and focus on this change and this new law and this law, like you're gonna get nowhere. Like focus on how you're gonna provide value to your client. I promise you, like you'll be good.
And also, like the people that's not in real estate can care less about what y'all talking about. Like and that's really
But
that's the buyers and the
But
sellers.
you say that until you're about to sell a house.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
and there's
saying.
Money involved.
That's
And
but
that's
this
when
is the
everything
part though.
changes.
This is the part. Like, and this is for our team, right? Like it's a relationship business.
Yeah.
It's a relationship business.
Absolutely.
And your customer is the person that's not thinking about buying or selling right now. Right? Like everybody is laser focused and hyper focused on the person that is getting ready to sell their house or buy their house. But that's the wrong game, in my opinion. Like, in my opinion, the focus should be on showing people who you are and the value that you bring to the space. Because now when the person who wasn't thinking about real estate starts to think about real estate, you're the person that they're going to think about.
Didn't you just make a post about this?
Probably.
What is it about, like
But it sounds
building
Community versus
Building
going
a
viral.
community.
Yeah, it is kind of
kind of the
similar
same thing.
because
You're building
every
a sphere and your
exactly
people and
exactly.
it's no
I have an
different.
analogy. It's like sports.
The
analogy.
sports.
analogy.
I'm so
But
happy it wasn't.
But it's a quick analogy.
Okay.
It's like knowing that you are good enough to start for all 32 NFL teams, you're not going to stop working on your craft as a free agent, right? As a free agent, you're still going to be in the gym. You're going to be working out, running sprints, whatever, because as soon as that opportunity comes or the game changes, you're going to be ready.
Yeah.
You're going to be ready.
That was good.
It was a good one, but he hasn't like.
And the
Basically,
the game is gonna change.
I was
The
about
game
to
is gonna
just
change.
be
But
ready.
I was about to say, let me summarize.
better
Let me
ones.
summarize what
No,
Will
I
was
got
saying.
it.
That
was
Stay
nice.
ready so you don't have to get ready.
There you go. Oh, see, that's what happened because we're
ready.
Basically,
and so we're gonna wrap this up. And in the big picture, like I'd love to hear even more after this podcast is over what people are thinking, because listen, every single brokerage has put out something about this, and I think there has to be a real conversation
It's just true.
What'd she say?
You knew that was coming.
What she said?
She said to sell their brokerage.
Oh, yeah.
On what they're gonna do to
Okay, so Tyra's like,
be the
but
best and to get you.
no, but
But there has to-
like,
there
look,
has
this
to
is
be
the.
real.
I was about to say,
We're the
this is the
realest people in
RP.
real
This is the
estate.
RPR. Like, you have to.
this is a candid conversation, and there has to be, but in the big picture, like you have to surround yourself with people who are going to mentor, and we have to talk about this because it has changed the game. There's no doubt about it. Like hands down, game changed. We're moving forward.
But did you guys know? I'm sorry.
I love it.
Did you guys-
I'm so happy.
You guys know
Did you hear
that
say-
it didn't used to be buyer's agents.
What was
You
it?
guys know that, right?
No.
It was
What?
listing agents,
That
and you
buyers.
find a buyer for your house.
Yeah, but some states dual agency is illegal.
Oh, I did read that.
Yeah,
Like
in the 90s, like this didn't
I
this
don't know which one it
changed
is, but I know.
sometime in the 90s. The law changed where
Oh,
you were able to have buyer agents.
Yeah.
interesting.
So
I do think there are some sellers that could give a shit, like less. Like they don't care if they
Not
pay a
even
commission.
change.
They're like, I just want the convenience. Just sell my house. I don't care what I'm paying.
Yeah.
There are
It's
going to
going
be some
to
clients doing
ultimately
that.
affect the sellers, though. That's what
You think
people
so?
don't. I feel like it.
How? How so?
Because I feel like you need those buyers agents, but
Yeah.
then you got these listings agents that's like just list. That's what we do. We just list. but you need these buyer's agents because that's who you depend on to bring you listings.
Or you're gonna have to find a buyer for the house, and you're gonna have to do more
And
work.
you don't really want to do that. But you do probably have a showing agent, but you don't have anyone actually being a dedicated buyer's agent. So buyers,
Are gonna get screwed.
do you really have someone that's in your best interest?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Sometimes you don't.
I was gonna say sometimes
Because
you
I
don't.
represented the listing and the buyer side multiple times, and I honestly can say I've always had both interests in mind.
And
But
I'm
what
gonna
about the
say-
listing agent that's listing their family member's house or their best friend's house?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because that
That's
always
usually like, oh,
happens.
yeah.
Who does every seller work with? Their family or their friends, typically.
Well, I'm that type of person where
Fair.
I'm that type
We
of
just added
person where I'm
another,
like,
like,
right is
curveball.
right and wrong is wrong. I don't care who it is, like even if it's my family, even if it's my kids, whatever. So in that instance, even if I'm working with a family member, I'm still going to represent, if I'm representing the buyer as well, I'm gonna still represent the buyer to the fullest. That's just me though.
I would say I wouldn't. I mean, if my brother was selling a house and I wanted to get him the
You're
most
gonna-
money, I'm gonna get my brother the most money. Sorry.
Well, you're gonna get your brother the most money, but at the same time, you
But
can
you might
still
not
look
have
out
a
for the
list-
buyer's
yeah.
interest. If the buyer really wants the house, you're gonna figure out how you're gonna make it work for both of them.
But also, it's like you said earlier, how many buyers are you gonna have or buyer's agent coming in? Again, they may be bypassing the agent, but how many people are you gonna have coming in if there's no room to negotiate or to talk? That may change the game for you as well.
Yeah.
I
But
get
at the
what
end
you're
of the day,
saying.
I've
I
always looked
totally
at it
get what you're
like,
saying.
if you have a buyer that want to buy and you have a seller that want to sell, it's got to be some way we can just make this work because they both want
Yeah.
the same thing. So just come to a good common medium.
True story.
That's
All
my
right. So
Yeah.
this has been interesting, and I think that this is going to continue to unravel.
So I have a question for everyone.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
So so before we go, we're wrapping this up. Everyone give their thoughts on what are you gonna do to get through this change in real estate? What's your
That's a good
plan?
question.
Like
I'm gonna stay
in a
educated.
simple statement.
Just keep watching and educating myself and learning. Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do, right?
I think
Just keep going.
negotiation skills are going to be at an all-time high, and you're going to have to learn how to pivot and navigate. And I think there's going to be not the first or last time that we're going to have to
Mhm.
pivot and navigate. But I think I kind of agree with you when you said, like, people coming in new to this game, I'm going to have, as a new agent, I'm going to learn skills that maybe someone who's been in the game for 10, 15, 20 years hasn't had to deal with. Why? Because it hasn't been that situation. So I'm going to learn new
Mm.
stuff. And I think I agree. Like, I'm going to learn how to pivot and navigate.
Yeah. I feel like what both of you guys said are true. Like the education piece is going to be very important. Just like keep getting knowledge, keep figuring out ways, as I said earlier, to bring value to your client.
Yeah.
And I think as long as you're doing that, you'll be good.
Yeah.
Or we'll all be good.
Rob, would you like to add any closing statements?
I mean, again, I'm not a real estate agent, but
Any comments?
yeah,
Any
I mean, I
comments?
just
Like-
feel like I think real
Let me
estate.
fix that
I know
pause.
because I got to make sure I say it in a way that, I don't rub anybody the wrong way, but I just feel like everybody, I know
What are you whispering?
everybody get hyper focused
Yeah.
in the real estate world. Like your world is so different. Like you
It is so
guys,
different.
and when I say it, it's not the same as when other people say it. Because if you're around real estate agents and brokers and people in your space, then of course, like everybody feels that their space is like whatever it is.
The ultimate space.
We work in tech, hospitality, fashion, like all these other spaces. There's no space like real estate. Like I'm giving you that perspective. It's so competitive. Like it's so competitive. And even with Tyre's comment where it's like everybody's giving their thoughts to sell their agencies, like that's an example. It's not like if a broker is talking about their opinions of NAR, their only allegiance is to the people that is a part of their brokerage. Whether they believe that or not, I'm just saying what it sounds like on the outside looking in. And in the bigger scheme of things, like, that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of sucks. Like, for, you know what I'm saying? From my perspective on the outside looking in, I really wish that the brokers and the people who are the leaders in the real estate space, especially for Michigan, because we all know who they are. I just really wish they embrace who they say they are and really do it for everybody, for the culture of real estate. Exactly, for the culture of real estate, and not just necessarily to grow their brand. Like, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah,
I love it. I agree.
Yeah.
We can end it with that.
The culture is too competitive, though. That's all.
It's so
only
competitive.
But that's one of the reasons we started
It's
a
like-
circle.
It's like having 32 teams
Yeah.
and giving everybody your sauce, but there's only one Super Bowl.
And that's how
That's the
we're
only
different,
analogy I can
because we
give.
don't chase, we attract.
We attract.
We attract.
We're magnets. But
We're the new Detroit Lions. Everybody want to play for our team.
Except for Cam Sutton.
Have to end it with the
Sports analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, so next week is going to be an interesting week because Will and I will not be here. We will be on vacation.
Vacation.
Jealous.
And then-
I'm so jealous.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not going to
I
tell
need a
you.
vacation so bad.
If you got, how about we like live stream it? And
Yeah, you
show
guys can be on
them.
the
Yeah,
beach.
there you go.
I'm gonna say that, but are you really?
No,
gonna-
they're gonna
Probably
be
not.
They're gonna be
But
having fun.
the thought that counts.
Yeah.
So we may do it. We may like FaceTime you guys next week. But Tony Weaver, who is one of our partners in Iconic Circle, will be filling in for me.
Did we talk to Tony?
Yes.
Tony
Yeah.
is confirmed.
Hey.
And will Norm be in Will's spot?
Well,
That might-
yeah, Norm.
Norm,
if
you
you're
coming?
listening, we need you.
Norm,
Norm.
are you
We
gonna
need
be
to
in-
actually.
We need
message
lemon.
Norm.
Lemon.
Lemonade.
Lemon, where you
We
at?
need to know if you are
We
going
need the
to,
lemon peppers for next week.
lemon pepper.
We need
To
that
see
spice.
if you'll be sitting in Will's spot. But we might FaceTime you guys. We might pop in and see what you guys are up to. And
I mean, you could give us 5 minutes.
Yeah. How about
We'll send you the
I don't
link.
mind, with a drink in my hand and a Gucci daddy shorts. Let's do it.
just to make us jealous of anything else. I'm just gonna disregard.
We
the
should get like a
last
big
part.
TV screen and like
I'm
have.
gonna act like I just did not even hear
Thank
that last.
Thank you.
I didn't hear the last part.
Let me tell you.
I
what he
heard
said.
like a
He
like
said with a
the
drink in
end.
his hand and hoochie daddy shorts on.
Oh, the Hoochie Daddy shorts.
I just heard hoochie something. And I
Hoochie
just-
daddy shorts.
Will say you've been in the gym.
Those are the shorts that go above your knee.
The Hawaiian silky.
Absolutely.
Listen, some of the shit he picked up today, like when we went, yeah.
Your son is gonna be so embarrassed.
Not by us. You like it ain't gonna be by us because you listen. Will's like one of like 5 dads going on the street.
That's cool,
It's gonna be quite interesting.
That's the best thing about going out of town. No one knows you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but
Well,
I
don't know.
do.
You
I
guys
have to
are
walk-
going with people.
I have to walk around with him. He was
Yeah.
talking about getting like this pink flower Hawaiian shirt today at like Forever 21, and I looked at him and I went,
Forever 20.
yes.
Hey, look, I love Forever 21.
No, they got a men's.
Hey,
They got a
Forever
men's
21.
section.
They have a
Oh
men's
yeah, they do
section.
have a men's section.
They got a men's
And
I do
he
love
walked
Forever
up to
21.
me and like had this shirt in his hand, and I was like,
No. Don't do it.
Listen, we're gonna broadcast from the pink party.
Actually, we
these
need-
"Wait,
pink,
what?
these
Why
pink
does he-
shorts,
oh.
Hoochie daddy shorts, and this pink tight shirt.
You in these damn hoochie daddy shorts?
We need, hey, look, we need like
Listen.
outfits of the day. You know the
Whatever.
TikTok where they like clap hands
do.
and they're different
We
outfits.
do, and there's a jungle party, there's a white party, there is a pink party, and a neon party.
Will
So
can't
we-
wait for the pink party.
You should see my outfits. It's the only time you can be
You
comfortable.
said it,
wearing
huh?
I don't know if there's a party on Wednesday though. We might not be at a party. We might actually just be sitting there, but we will pop in.
We're gonna pop in.
Okay.
We promise we will pop in. I don't know how they'll be aired, but we promise we will pop in, and
They're not
Tony will
gonna
be
pop
here.
in, but go ahead.
I'm popping in.
Hoochie Daddy
We'll see.
Shorts is all about popping
Yeah,
in.
we gotta see the
Somewhere.
Hoochie Daddy shorts.
And we'll broadcast that. But
I don't think I've ever heard that term. Hoochie
You've
Daddy.
never
What?
Not Hoochie
What?
Daddy. I've
Are you
Hoochie
kidding me?
Mama.
You've never heard of like Hoochie
I
Daddy
wouldn't
shorts?
even know how to imagine.
Did you see your brother's face? Like he was like,
Yeah, I think
you
that
wanna talk
term
about
kind
Hoochie
of
Daddy
popped off
shorts?
in like 2022.
Hoochie Daddy.
Like a
Hoochie
TikTok.
Daddy,
TikTok.
yeah.
TikTok.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
TikTok.
Do a
Well,
TikTok.
I don't know if you should TikTok Hoochie. Don't
I'm
search.
gonna
Hoochie.
definitely.
She's gonna search it out.
It's gonna pop up Hoochie Daddy shorts.
They're just
But-
5-inch shorts instead of 7.
I can
or 9.
Is that what
imagine
they
what
are?
it is. I just never.
Yeah.
I never
Can't wait.
heard
I'm
the
so
term.
excited.
All right, guys. Well, stay tuned for next week's
Yes.
episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hi guys.
Bye, guys.
Have a great one.
Roll it for like 5 seconds.
Do you guys want to stay live on Facebook? Or
We can stay live on Facebook. Like, does
that's
any?
For them, I was just like the 5. I think that's good for the 5 seconds. I've been watching the videos on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
And
See?
it's like
There you
at the
go.
end when we wrap, it just
Yeah.
cuts off.
Mhm.
But I think that would be good to go like at least like 5 seconds longer when we just like
Yeah.
let our hair down. We like
Yeah.
take our
How
headphones
can we?
off.
How can do we have
Do
to do
bloopers?
StreamYard?
We
Like,
got Wi-Fi, so we
It
can
can like
How can
fade
we
out.
do stream-
I think it'll be cool to
We
like
can do
fade
how
it
can we
out.
He can
pop
send
in?
us the link on StreamYard.
Exactly what happened
But-
tonight.
But if you guys aren't on StreamYard, how can we pop in?
No, we
from
can
another
be on
This
StreamYard.
is the after
We'll
hours.
just do it.
Yeah, but you guys are seeing it live.
Anybody wanna
Hold on.
chime in?
I know. So, like, what was the consensus?
Consensus.
do you
How
say
many
that?
people did we have? Like a lot of people.
Yeah, at the
looking?
beginning it was like 18, 19, but there was no audio.
When I talked to Kim.
Oh yeah.
And then the audio, after we got the audio, probably the most was probably like 14.
And
Okay.
then we
But on
started talking about
average,
football. Then it was 2.
Then it dropped down to
Listen.
2.
Mhm.
And then when we came back to real estate, it went back up to like 10, 11.
Just have my
I
head.
think
So it's
because
okay.
we
I
advertised talking about.
I know.
the-
How you
The
feel
new
about the
buyer
man in
question.
TikTok?
Is that
That's
happening
what I was
now?
asking everybody. Do you all really think?
Yeah, why
it's
didn't-
gonna happen?
why didn't-
Weren't they
why
talking
didn't we-
about that last year,
I
though?
feel like it could.
You think it's gonna happen?
Because
What?
I feel like
I don't think TikTok.
But isn't that the meta?
Oh, the
Isn't that-
TikTok. The
it's
TikTok.
not
man?
I
meta.
thought
That's
it
the
was
first thing.
meta.
No,
Oh.
they're trying to like Facebook want to have their hand in the pie. Well, not Facebook, but Meta or whoever
Oh, wait.
across,
But
all
I thought,
across
so
the
TikTok
board.
does it?
They're not conforming.
I was just
feel
about to
like
say
they're
that
not.
that's 100% it. So Facebook,
Conforming to what,
Instagram,
though? Like what?
Meta
Yeah.
What
Meta
parts?
works in compliance
Okay.
with
the government.
the government.
And TikTok
I
doesn't.
mean,
And TikTok is their own thing, and they're like, we are doing what we want to
well,
do,
TikTok don't stop.
and we're not trying to hear. So if you look
Listen.
at like, you can go on TikTok and find so many things happening around the world that you will not hear anything about
Mhm.
on
So it's
any type of
censorship.
meta.
True.
It's censorship.
Definitely.
That's all it is.
Definitely.
So what it won't go away.
Just spoke up and said something. We
It
talked
won't-
about it.
It won't go away.
No.
It'll probably.
Girl, we always try to.
Well,
No,
after
we gotta-
hours.
Did you like that new buyer question?
Bye.
I'll type that in there.
He typed something in.
Yeah, you was
Feel
like,
like
this one from
Taekwon
Taekwon
Jackson.
Jackson.
I
I was
looked
like,
at
I
him.
don't even know.
That was you?
That was me.
Bro.
Like, they probably like, oh, who's that?
I was like, what question?
That's the best ever.
That's
You
so
didn't
funny.
No.
I didn't realize
Laughing the whole
it.
time.
Were you laughing?
Stop it.
What the hell? I'm like this guy.
Is that, I saw you laughing. I was like, what is Louise laughing at? Like, you were
Bro.
I
cracking up.
don't even remember. What did you
Oh, God.
add?
Hey,
That's so funny.
they didn't know
Is that
either.
that new
So
buyer?
they
had
thought
no
people were asking
idea.
questions.
I was like,
Thanks for piping in.
That's-
Tony saved the day.
That was such a
Guys,
classic
help
move.
it. I appreciate it.
Wow.
But
That's
no.
cool.
That's
I'm
fine.
glad because now I can follow you on Facebook.
Oh, that's really your Facebook page?
yeah.
Okay, stop.
That's so funny.
Time out. We've got Ty, Tony. What is
Nobody.
your
So
name?
apparently nobody actually.
What is your name?
Nobody actually realized. Like I don't think people realize they could actually be a part of the
Your real
conversation.
name is Taekwon.
Yeah.
I still gotta stick
We
with
still don't
Tony.
know where we
Yeah,
got
this is
Tony.
what Tony.
Because
That just be
we
alright.
were literally talking about you guys last night. We were talking about you guys, and I said was like Tony.
It's literally
Ty.
him and Lanice in the profile photo.
Yeah. Well, I just
You
had.
didn't
Well,
realize.
actually, I'm on.
Speaking of time, I went on that
Are we
was
still
it
live?
the
Yeah, we're still
Tube
live.
Buddy?
It's
Yeah.
good.
I went
think
on
we can
it,
let roll out.
And I also was listening to that girl that you were telling me about on YouTube that talks about like,
Catherine Manning.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Who's that?
I started putting like hashtags like in the description and stuff.
Was it working?
I don't know. Like I feel like my views did go up a little bit, but I'm still not like getting a ton of views.
So I don't get a lot from them, but there was like one video that I was like, man, this video is shit.
What video was it?
boring. It was the video I like put my 360 move.
Oh,
up for the
yeah.
first time. I was like, this is crap. No one's gonna find it. I did everything she like usually says, and that's like my best video ever.
Yeah, and he got two
So
free
it's
360.
Yeah, I got two like $3,000 360.
How?
They just sent it to
Because China, people from China were like, oh, we need a video, and your video's popping. Like, make a video about our boots. So they sent me the same identical boot,
Bro.
but it's like from their brand. It was like,
Yeah.
You know
but
what?
it's like her stuff. Like, I think if you make a good enough video with her, like things that she tells you to do,
Mhm.
like it's gonna do way better than like if I didn't do any of her stuff.
Did you do it
Gotta
on
be good
TikTok?
SEO.
Yeah.
What do you mean on TikTok?
What
No,
do you-
it's YouTube. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
because you get that on YouTube too. I mean, on TikTok
Just
too,
pass
where
that around.
No,
they'll send you something free
Oh.
just to like
Yeah.
advertise it or whatever. You're getting something free.
Yeah, our TikTok wasn't doing bad, honestly.
No, our TikTok does good.
Yeah,
I think
What's
so.
the
they like
YouTube channel?
podcasts on TikTok.
RPR.
Oh yeah, if you type in RPR
Yeah.
on YouTube, you do not. You guys do
Yeah,
not.
it's
have-
hard
Yeah,
to
it's
find
not-
it.
No, you gotta do the
you have
realest
to do
people
the
on real
realest
estate.
people in
Yeah.
real
People
estate.
on-
It's hard to
Oh.
find.
I'm pretty sure you have to
Even
do
when you
like
put
realest
that
people
in.
in real estate.
Okay, yeah.
They, I
I
don't.
was typing RPR.
It's
I'm like,
something why
oh.
YouTube does that. Like they make it hard to find.
Do you put RPR?
We're
in
still
the,
live, you know that, right?
Yeah.
But
we're
the
letting
video?
them play out after hours.
And what?
When y'all post
We're doing after hours.
RPR
After
in the
hours,
That's what we
people.
do.
or in the
YouTube?
channel and the name, like
Or
the
YouTube?
title part. Yeah, YouTube.
Oh, they do pop up. Yeah, you just need to add that to the.
I think it's,
to the
yeah,
framework,
like,
maybe.
I'm
Do I
gonna
need
go
to
off
do that?
here in a
I
minute.
would
Yeah, I
put
think so.
RPR
Live, okay.
podcast like at the end, whatever your title is, and then put RPR podcast at the end of it. So then you start popping up because if you